We're going to watch this video and we're going to break down exactly what's going on in Dalton, how the people are actually feeling in Dalton about their own mayor, and all the pretty much chaos that she is bringing to her own city, her own little town. It's insane. It's insane. Make sure you guys leave a like on the stream. I appreciate y'all for viewing and tuning in with me. Let's get into this video, man. This is our mayor of Dalton, Illinois, Tiffany Henyard.
Nobody? Trustee? Nobody? Somebody knows something.
Believe it or not, the woman that you just witnessed dressed as the crime kingpin Nino Brown from the 1991 Wesley Snipes movie, New Jack City, is an elected official who is now being investigated by the FBI. Now, this week, federal investigators confirmed that they are looking into Tiffany Henyard. She's the mayor of a small town in Illinois who has been accused of misusing taxpayer funds and more. And as a result of that, basically throwing the town into unmanageable debt. The situation is so bad that bankers are looking to repossess police cruisers from the town because she has failed to make payments to the lenders for the vehicles. But there's a lot more. So first, let's start off with who Henyard is.
Have y'all ever heard of a police car getting repossessed? Have y'all ever heard of that? I heard of the neighbor down the street having to get their car repossessed. You know what I'm saying? I heard of that. But I never heard of a police station getting their cars repossessed. This is insane, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue.
Henyard wears two hats in local government. As the Dalton mayor, it's known as the Village of Dalton, she takes home more than $46,000 in base pay. And as the supervisor of Thornton Township, she makes more than $200,000 a year, records show. She makes more money. She's the mayor of a small town of 20,000 people. She makes more money than our members of Congress. Like, let that sink in for a second. And in regard to her
$250K as a mayor and supervisor. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. She's making some very, very good money as a mayor.
Dressing as Nino Brown, she reportedly signaled for a DJ to play Rihanna's "Be Better Have My Money" while fully committing to her Nino Brown persona, even carrying a small stuffed dog reminiscent of a scene from the movie. Now, look, I've got no problem with that. If you want to have fun, if you want to be a little wacky in the way you do your job, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with you hiring a DJ to do musical cues with taxpayer money, though, especially when there's a deficit in the town and now they're in a lot of debt. Now, here's some more information on the Village of Dalton. In Dalton, which shares a border with Chicago, about 15% of families live in poverty, census records show. Burdened with some of the highest property taxes in Cook County, homeowners feel the full brunt of the tax burden since there's little commercial or industrial development in the town. That is an important fact for you guys to remember as I give you more details about this story, right? Because they don't have a lot of business going on in this small town. So in order to generate tax revenue, the town has high property taxes. So whatever businesses they have operating out of this town, you want to protect those businesses and you want to ensure that they're paying their taxes, right? Because that's another way that you generate tax revenue. Again, keep that in mind. Now, the small town is currently in debt to the tune of $7 million. I know that when we talk about government debt, we typically talk about the federal debt, which is
way higher. The federal debt is way higher. It's in the trillions, y'all. So this 7 million to a little town in Illinois is not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Let's continue.
Is far higher than that. But remember, we're just talking about a small town of 20,000 people. So $7 million in debt is a big deal. And so there are all sorts of allegations against Henyard's leadership. For instance, the allegations include her funneling taxpayer money to her cancer charity, which appears to not be a real charity, using taxpayer money on hair and makeup prior to public appearances. I'm on camera every day. TYT does not pay for my hair and makeup. Trips to Atlanta, Austin, and New York City, on which she frequently flew first class and stayed in ritzy hotels like the Four Seasons, taken during Henyard's term, ran the city over $67,000, according to records obtained by a local news station, WG.
This lady has the entire opportunity to become a very good and strong and powerful and very successful woman. But instead she chooses to do it the dumbest way possible, pretty much. The dumbest way possible. The way that she is running this town, I mean, it's kind of like a dictatorship type of thing. It's a dictatorship. Whatever she says goes. It don't matter how much it costs of your money that you paying to the government. You're thinking that it's going to the government, or it's really going to her. She's using your money, and she's going on first class flights to wherever she wants to travel to. She's eating at the best restaurants in the city. She is renting police officers as security guards. And now we hear that the police department's cars are getting repoed. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. This woman is explaining it very well. I already know a little bit. I know a good amount about this story already, but I really wanted to bring it on here because this would speed everybody up at one time, and I could just give my opinion right away. So let's continue on this.
GN9, misusing police services 24/7 as her own personal security detail, which has led to the officers invoicing the town a ton of overtime hours. And basically it's costing a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars for the town. Using taxpayer money to lease a Chevy Tahoe for herself. Documents show that she also overpaid for it. So the Dalton Board of Trustees has called her out for a lot of this. And Henyard tried to, lie about it. So here's the moment where she was confronted about the Chevy Tahoe that she leased for herself.
I sat here and looked at a lease that y'all was paying $149,000 for one of them trucks. You make absolute, that's like when you 19 years old and you go get a car and the interest rate 27%. That makes absolutely no sense. You're not making great finance, excuse me?
Please state facts.
But let me tell you, here it is, dated December 27th, 2022, the cash price of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, $93,216.71. Interest and APR, $55,929.49. Total lease price, $149,146.20.
Yo. That is a lot of money for a lease of a car. I mean, at that point, you might as well buy the Chevy Tahoe. At that point, you might as well buy the Chevy Tahoe. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. And this is how dumb people get caught in these bad deals. This is a terrible deal. Terrible.
Tell me if it's not facts, because your signature is all on it.
Sheesh.
I don't see that.
Okay, but you want me to pass?
I don't.
We might have millions of people watching this show, but you can be the difference maker because we just need 1% of our audience to be paid members, and then this show can.
Don't see that? your name is on the document. Like you signed the document. Okay, all right, okay.
That's crazy.
Henyard also recently sparked further outrage by proposing a new law that would cap the next mayor's salary at $25,000 unless she remains in that role. That was reported by a local Fox affiliate, Fox 32.
Well, who signed off on that? Y'all let this woman come in and finesse the whole town. She finessed in everybody. What do y'all think? What's going on here? This is madness, honestly.
An Illinois Answers Project and Fox 32 investigation has also found that while in office, Henyard has funneled thousands of dollars in taxpayer money to a private foundation that bears her name. But the foundation seems super sketchy. This is probably part of the reason why the FBI is now looking into her use of taxpayer money. In a September 2022 meeting, Henyard and the township board voted to give $10,000 to her foundation, which claims to help people with cancer. Records show the foundation's paperwork was filed with the state the same day that the township payment was approved. Now it's called the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. A month ago, the Illinois Attorney General began investigating the charity, halted any more contributions to the charity, and also noted that the so-called charity failed to file financial documents showing how she spent the money. And so Henyard spent thousands of taxpayer dollars for a group bicycle ride to Springfield in support of a breast cancer bill, Henyard said in videos taken during the trip. But the bill was never formally filed. There was no bill, and state lawmakers weren't even in session. So days after receiving that $10,000 donation,
they need to get her out of there ASAP. ASAP. She is going to be the downfall of this town and community. And shout outs to her for getting in that position, but she is fumbling it bad. You looking worse than Biden out there. She's getting investigated by the FBI, and she is doing all of this nonsense. I want to really know what exactly is running through her mind at this point. She thinks everything is really cool. She thinks what she's doing is fine. That's not okay. This is not okay, Tiffany Henyard.
To her alleged charity, Henyard carried out that group bike ride in support of her charity, and she spent more than $10,000 on it. So this was another investigation done by WGN 9 News, and they looked through a Freedom of Information request. They looked at credit card records and they saw what she had spent the money on. They found that she had spent the money on hotels along the route of that bike ride. So look, I could literally use up the entirety of this show and maybe even tomorrow's show in doing deep dives into all the different allegations against Henyard, and there are a lot, which is why I'm happy that the FBI is now looking into this. But there are two things that I want to do or have a closer look at, okay? The first thing is this allegation that business owners are being retaliated against when they're not donating to her campaign or when they're not supportive of her leadership. So let's take a look at this gentleman who is a small business owner in the town. His name is Lawrence Gardner. He owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South suburban Dalton. And he says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. Gardner believes it's retaliation after he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. And look, if it was just one small business.
You see the amount of power that she is abusing? Who does she think she is? Who does she think she is? Why is she abusing this power? She's looking crazy out here. This is sad, man. This is sad. You have a lot of people that probably was looking up to you, trying to make sure that you're good, and you doing people dirty like this. Your own people that voted for you. This makes no sense.
Business owner making this allegation, I'd say you should investigate it, but it's one guy. I mean, who knows if it's true? But multiple small business owners from the town have come forward with similar allegations. And remember, having tax revenue coming from the small businesses that currently exist in Dalton is incredibly important, especially when the town is now $7 million in debt allegedly because of Henyard's spending and recklessness with taxpayer funds. Gardner reported Henyard to the FBI and told a local Fox affiliate the following, quote, "I talked to a couple of agents and I explained to them what's going on. I gave them all of my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dalton. And they told me they were investigating and would be in touch with me." So that was the first indication that the FBI was in fact investigating Henyard. The local news also spoke to other business owners, including one restaurant owner who says that his business license wasn't renewed after he refused to make another campaign donation to Henyard. He had previously donated $3,200 to Henyard's campaign, but he didn't want to renew his contribution, and he claims that he was retaliated against as a result of that. And then a trustee by the name of Kiana Belcher alleges that former police chief Robert Collins basically admitted to being directed by the mayor to target certain individuals. That is what she's claiming. That is something the FBI, I'm hoping, is going to look into as well.
So pretty much, if your business did not donate to her fund, she is forcing the police to go and shut you down. This makes no sense, y'all. That is an abuse of power. These people just don't care to vote for you anymore because they realize how you're moving. And it's just sad. It's just sad. I mean, we don't even have to talk about this anymore. There's much more stuff that's going on. She's now messing with people's money, and she's been taking advantage. She's been taking advantage of her position. She gotta go.